think there's a really interesting challenge in how do you design the right sort of development and design environment for creating interactive visualizations.
Most of the interactive graphics we do, or at least the ones that involve animation or they really have heavy data visualization, are done in Flash.
I might use technologies like Java. Flash is the one that's most successful, or things like Microsoft Silverlight that basically, it's a computer program that again gets embedded within the web page and runs there. And there's been lots of success with that, particularly because Flash is so available in browsers.
At the moment, if you want to publish that, there's really nothing out there that's better. I imagine that as HTML and JavaScript and the canvas tags get better, there may be less of a need for Flash, but I don't think that at the moment it's going to go away anytime soon. I think one of the things that surprised me the most about how we've begun to work as a graphics department is in many ways how much of a software development shop we've also become. When we first started out, it was much more of you approached everything on a one-off basis. And it quickly became apparent that if you wrote a whole slew of code to do maps showing election results, you really needed to build that code in a way that could be reused for other projects.
There are libraries and toolkits out there that have been crafted to make the process of creating visualizations less painful. And in that realm, two things from Jeff here come up. So Flare, which is a set of libraries for Flash, for Flex, and Protoviz, which just came out, which is for JavaScript.
So Protoviz is the language we've created for visualization and design. And how it works is it assumes that there's a number of different basic shapes, so things like bars or plotting symbols or areas, and then those get data sets get mapped into those shapes. And so basically it's a language for saying what properties of the data should then be realized as properties of those graphic marks. And so far we found that it's enabled at least us within our lab, and then the designers and hobbyists, etc., that we've been working with are able to create visualizations with remarkably less effort, less code, and oftentimes expressing a lot more pleasure with the results.
If you go to the website, there's a bunch of really beautiful examples, recreation of classic examples of information visualization and graphics.
Examples are incredibly important for multiple reasons. Examples show the different types of visualizations that are possible. So for a design sense, it kind of enriches people's thinking about what are the available options and what are the right ways to convey data. And from the technical side, it provides the examples of how to create these visualizations. How do you write the little bit of code necessary to bring this visualization to life? So
we're very excited about, what does it mean to sort of break away from even Flash and see what you can do with straight JavaScript. The promise of, write it once and let it run everywhere, it's closer.
It runs well on the iPhone. It'll run well on Google Android phones. And a number of the other technologies, including Flash, that are very popular in desktop, laptop applications, won't necessarily be available on mobile platforms. And so looking forward, some of these browser-native techniques may be the better bet in terms of reaching a wide diversity of interactive devices.
The New York Times is unique. Other newspapers don't have 30 people, and the thing I think a lot of places can do is, I think building tools is really important. I mean, the more you automate something, the less interesting and unique it is by definition, but I think tool building is really important.
The Texas Tribune is a nonprofit organization in Texas. They have a mapping system set up where they can put in different shapefiles and different data that will map county level data across Texas. And so it's just a Flash system that accepts an input that will just automatically map whatever's put on it. The idea is that you build one thing that can be used multiple times so that you get better return on your investment.
My team has built a bunch of templates. They're all Flash-based templates. And then there's a data entry form that's sort of pseudo part of our CMS. It enables editors to input data in a form-based interface, and then when you publish it, it spits out an XML document that then we can pull into our Flash-based interactives. We have a timeline template. We have line charts, bar charts, columns, and those have various features like the ability to have multiple lines or multiple bars or grouped columns, and we have mapping. You can zoom in to, say, counties from our national map. We can pair up our timeline with our map. So if we have the average birth rate in every state since 18 whatever, whenever they started keeping it until now, we can show that change over time. So that's pretty cool.
Au monde.fr, on a un outil de gestion qui permet de mettre en ligne qui s'appelle le set. Et à l'intérieur de ce set, on a plusieurs outils graphiques. Donc un qui permet de générer des cartes, un qui permet de générer des graphes, un qui permet de générer des résultats pour les élections. On en a plusieurs comme ça. Pour que la rédaction puisse créer une carte et l'afficher sur le site de cette façon-là, on a un outil dans le set qui nous permet, à base d'une API Google, de générer une carte de situation. Donc notre outil est assez simple, il suffit d'indiquer un lieu, Paris par exemple, de l'ajouter sur la carte, et à partir de là, on peut éditer ce point par un titre, un texte de description, et également lui associer une icône. Voilà. Donc là, c'est pas... J'espère que ça ne se passera pas. Donc on a des cartes un peu plus fournies, comme celle-ci. Vous voyez, là, on peut vraiment afficher énormément de points. Alors, un graphe, on a ici... Donc c'est la balance commerciale en France pour 2009. Donc ça, c'est l'interface qui permet de créer le graphe. Tout ce qui est base de temps, valeur max et min sur la base de valeur. Ça ne nécessite aucune formation. C'est des outils très simples qui sont mis à leur disposition. Plutôt que d'utiliser des outils graphiques comme Illustrator pour créer directement une courbe ou autre, on leur donne une interface web qui permet de générer cette courbe.
Now, maybe that'll always involve some level of, if not coding, at least some programming knowledge to understand how to construct these things. Because in the deal, they are transforming data, you are doing interactions, so there's all these rich operations involved. But there's still a question of, well, how much of that can be brought into a way that's more directly explorable and manipulable. In the future, maybe it'll look like some strange hybrid of Excel and Illustrator and then something else that hasn't even been thought of yet. But how can we take these concepts and translate it to make that design even more accessible, those design options accessible to a wider array of folks?